Hello and welcome back to another live stream of the Great Ace Attorney. Last time we started Sosuke's trial. We defended him from a jury's vote. However, Banzix got on our way and we got to face another jury vote again. This time we're going to continue defending Sosuke. Chat test first. Let's go. The defense has proposed a closing argument. Very well, a right is a right after all. Here begins our second closing argument. Foreman of the jury, are you prepared to begin? Of course! Now, 6 jurors. The court orders you to explain the reasons and the basis behind your guilty verdicts. Okay. The criminal left evidence at the scene. It's those 3 books that incriminate him. There is a possibility that someone else stabbed her. I could reconsider my verdict, if there is a possibility. If the window was closed when she threw the book, then it's not relevant to the case. The book isn't that big of a deal in the first place. It wouldn't kill a man. Let's wrap this up. Chop chop. If I don't get paid, I'm dead meat. That reminds me, I had a house fire recently. I caught such an awful cold after. It seems the jury's opinions have become more concrete as of our second closing argument. Once again, with some exceptions. Our transfer student failed to break down the last witness with his cross-examination. There is no denying it now. The man who ran away from the scene was the defendant. Therefore, there was not a single other person who could have committed the crime. The eyewitness's account was accurate. That makes the verdict all the more conclusive. I'm afraid that's the only truth. If that's the case, then this closing argument will have to prove that there is another undeniable possibility. What makes a possibility undeniable, though? You should already know the answer to that. To quote those ridiculous detective novels, you need the whodunit and the howdunit. As such, you must do nothing short of revealing a name and a method. If it was that simple, I wouldn't be in this mess. But if you can't do it, you'll never find a path to a great turnabout. Thus the closing argument will now begin. I'm sure that you're prepared, defense. Sir! I guess this is the moment of truth. The one who holds the key to this closing argument has to be Juror 4, Mrs. Garideb. Madam. A book disappeared from the Garideb home on the night of the crime. The victim was found at the crime scene holding the 4th book. There has to be some connection between those 2 facts, and I have to be the one to prove this connection somehow. I'll use every method at my disposal, if push comes to shove. Make sure you watch the wife's reactions, even when she's not testifying. Okay. Oh! Reactions! Oh, it was the fourth book that just dropped on the scene. And just what is that supposed to prove? Fourth book just might be the property of a nearby landlord. That's exactly what I found strange about it. Huh? At the time, this landlord was in his room, no? Said that the couple set fire to the room to further enjoy their heated argument. Don't think that was their intention. Either way, it's obvious that neither of those two were at the crime scene. Alright. In other words, they have a solid alibi. If they are unrelated to the crime that Japanese shot in is the only suspect left. I say there is no more need for argument, I say. I say that arguing is all I can do. Are you saying that you'd be willing to change your verdict? Don't get too excited now. As you can see, I'm not only pragmatic but also a modern woman of society. Okay? If I read the morning paper, I forget what it said by evening, so I don't bother reading it. See? A very picture of a pragmatic and modern woman of society. Could you please stop flashing me? My eyes. That seems like an extreme conclusion. So far I see sufficiently decisive testimony in the trial of a sufficiently suspicious man. So if there may be some small sliver of doubt, he has to be the culprit. Just how pragmatic and modern woman of society should think. Don't you agree? That makes it a bit difficult for me to do my job. I'm also fit a young lady ready to jump to the newest fad or trend. So an interesting new possibility may cause me to change my verdict. Hold on one moment, please. There we go. Sorry about that. That's a bit of a tall order. Sounds like you'd have to work hard to win the heart of a city girl. Seems like it. Her eyes are brimming with expectation. The window was closed. But it's possible that the window was open. Of course it wasn't open. How can you be so sure of that? The prosecutor cleared this up a while ago, did he not? When the lights in London are no laughing matter, you don't open the window, silly. Sitting by the fire cozy and warm is a winter pastime. Hey, Joe. Did you deliver my message, at least? And thank you for delivering if you did. But you can't be certain that absolutely no one would. Absolutely no one would open the window. Then why you even have windows in the first place? Come now, defense! Stop being so childish! Sorry, what did he say? If I have to find a way to clearly show that the window might have been open, otherwise I won't be able to win this guy over. You say it wouldn't kill a man, but that book was on fire, wasn't it? Right, it was burning hot with my love. Don't think that had anything to do with love. It was the fire of betrayed love, I tell you. You wasn't the wrong. Don't you think so too? Well, it's not good for someone to betray his wife, but wasn't it just a misunderstanding in the first place? Either way, it was just a teeny little fight in the privacy of our own home. I deny that it has anything to do with the incident. Do what you want, but I'm a little worried about Juror 5. He's been avoiding a violent outburst by just a hair's width. I suppose he's a master of holding himself back. Okay, this guy again. Hey, what's your deal? Why are you in such a rush? Man's life is at stake. Yeah, well, so is mine. Huh? Didn't I tell you already? I'm a worker paid by the day. If I go home penniless today, then you will find me floating in flames by tomorrow morning. What? That's how terrifying the missus can be. No, terrifying and right into criminally insane, I'd say. Let me tell you something she did to me recently. Huh? The heck? What's wrong? It must have been so terrifying that I blocked it out of my memory. Wow. I wonder if Rolo will ever throw Pat into the river flames. I have an overreactive imagination, Susato. You have to wonder if there is a way to restore Jura's 5's terrifying memories. What does that have to do with your verdict? Sorry, what was that? Could you say it a little louder, please? So, could you tell me a little more about the fire? It was winter of last year. My grandkid had lit the candles on my birthday cake. There were 75 candles on that thing. It was quite the spectacle. What? They put candles in a cake? Were they trying to summon some sort of demon? Wait, the Japanese do not put candles on cake? Okay, I'll take it. Don't be absurd, it was a celebration for my birthday! It would seem that this strange practice is actually a common tradition in this land. Back to the point! When I got to huff and puff and blow those candles out, I ended up huffing and puffing and blowing them down, still burning all over the room. Fire started to eat up the furniture, and the whole room was filled with fire and smoke. Oh, I see. This can prove that the window was open at the time of the incident. Ooh, it really was summoning the eternal flames from down below. How did you catch a cold from that? My grandkids were passing me buckets of water to try and put out the fire, and since the room was full of smoke, they opened up all the windows to let the smoke out. There we go. They opened the windows. So my old bones were exposed to the harsh night gusts, and I froze to my core. It was soon after I carried to the hospital, quite the birthday present, eh? Yeah, that must have been fun. There's something about what he said that speaks to me. So now we need to who done it and how done it, right? So now we have to show everyone that someone besides Suzuki could have done it. They all just saying whatever they wanted there. Some of them seem really set in their verdicts. In these situations we just have to show them that there is some other possibility. We need some other possibility. We can show how their statements clash using something other than a contradiction. Alright, I'll look out for something like that. For now, let's keep forcing our way forward. Indeed. Okay, let's see. I noticed that you changed your finding, but well, that was the most shocking event to happen to me in recent memory. This isn't a place to be boasting about your war stories. Well, does this happen to have anything to do with the trial? Huh? What was that? Speak up, Sonny! You know what? Never mind. I can't deal with this guy. It's this old man's birthday memory. May be able to point us toward some important possibility. Needless to say, I blew out 76 unlit candles when my birthday came around this year. Okay, let's skip everything here and let's start clashing. Clash 6. There's a clear contradiction between these two statements. Contradiction? What in the world are you talking about? Oh god, I can't take it when he points his finger at me. What? I really can't hear you unless you speak up, my boy. Juror 3, if I may. Yes? What is it this time? Were you listening to Juror 6's birthday story? From what I heard, he opened his windows even though it was the middle of winter. That's true, but it was an emergency. If there was a fire in the room, then of course you would open the... Yeah, he realized finally. Oh no! Seems like you get it. At the time of the crime, there was a fire in Mrs. Turgaridab's room. Mr. Garidab told me something very interesting about what was going on at the time. The moment the flames flared up, the whole room was engulfed in thick smoke. He said that? Oh. Juror 4, may I have a word with you? Mrs. Garidab! Whoa! What are you doing? Just sending me out like that? Just give up the maid act already! There was something I wanted to confirm with you though. What is it now? At the time of the incident, your window was open, isn't that right? What? What's this all about? Smoke from the raging flames was beginning to fill the air. Under those conditions, you had no choice but to open the window. What are you talking about? Fine, I admit it. My husband really did rush to open the window. But of course, I kept throwing things without care in the world. Even while all of your possessions were going up in flames. Letting your anger out is good for your health, so I had to throw to my heart's content. It doesn't sound so good for anyone's health. Anyway, we've proven that the window was open. Let's have that added in the jury's claims. It's true the window was open at the time. I had totally forgotten about it. The fourth book dropped at the crime scene was hideously burned. The title of that book is The Adventure of the Lion's Mane. That would be the same book your husband was reading, right? Yes, I believe so. When you fault, you throw the book at him, right? Through The Adventure of the Lion's Mane. I threw it. It was the closest thing in reach, so it was the very first thing I threw. Now that I think about it, it was the book that my husband had been reading, yes. Why didn't you just say that from the start? Because I had no memory of it. You know how it is when something like that happens. Just throw whatever is available. I don't know how it is. the title. What the object even is doesn't matter to you in the moment. Wait, hold on.
Shut up!
I have a problem. Excuse me, Juror 5. Oh, oof. I remember it all. All of my repressed memories are back. What? When I was listening to that old lady, it all came back to me. Don't call me an old lady. I'm a wife and a maid, and that's it. She's not even responding to her violent outbursts. It was 2 weeks ago, after I finished my work for the day. I reached into my pocket to retrieve the day's wage, but then I turned whiter than a sheet. There was a huge hole in my pocket, and all my money had fallen out. Wow, that's quite a tragedy actually. Even tragedy doesn't do it justice. What? The missus was just in the middle of cutting up some chicken for dinner. I barely managed to mutter. I dropped all my money when suddenly the knife stuck itself in the wall, hardly an inch from my nose. Yeesh. It's so terrifying, I'm speechless. Wow. Well then. I could really smell the Thames then, I'll tell you what. And tonight I'll probably be drowning in those murky depths. That's the real tragedy. I understand. And that's when I finally realized an angry woman will throw anything, blades and knives, axes and hatchets. No, I want you to know that not all women are like that. Susato is defending herself. Joe, I have another theory. Mrs. Gary Depp threw the knife. It was an accident. The attack was an accident. Oh my god, is that true? If that's true, then this is good. Yeah, I know. Just often throwing the first blade they can get their hands on. Absolute barbarians. At least lose an arrow once in a while or something. Who are we shooting at now? Now let's pay careful attention to what Juror 5 just said. His words may serve as an arrow that will guide us toward victory. I should try to forget about what Susato just said for now. Let's press him. Knives? Yeah, last time it was a meat cutting knife. Real sharp that one was. No, but I think of it, it all started with a blown kiss. My history with the missus has just been thing after thing being thrown at me. Cups, glasses, pots, kettles, stools, stoves, wardrobes, bathtubs, wow. And the list grows bigger and bigger. Bathtubs, beds, let's continue. Bookshelves, suits of armor, because we're in London. What else? Portraits, probably. Okay, let's continue. The joke is over. The first half was quite an impressive lineup. And last week I thought it would all end with her chucking me into the Thames. Ah well, she really is sweet when she calms down. At least you have that, I guess. Yeah, and I've been thinking. They keep going on about ladies first in this country. Men came up with that when they got fed up with being thrown into the Thames. Thanks for the history lesson. He arrived at a rather terrible conclusion, didn't he? The statement just now, at first glance, just seems like a shocking story. It might be able to give us a shocking advantage too. Could even reveal the new possibility that been asking for. Okay, let's flash this. Statement of Juror 2. There is a clear contradiction between these two statements. Contradiction. Explain your ascension defense. Juror 2, I think this may be the new possibility that you are looking for. What did you say? I may have found another way the victim could have been stabbed with the knife. Just what is it? The fourth book, The Adventure of the Lion's Mane, was discovered at the crime scene. If it really did come from the Gary Deb home, then we can safely come to one conclusion. There may have been one more object that was thrown in that room. From that room. Oops. I need to focus. What? After all, Juror 4 said she had no idea what she was throwing in her blind fury. Isn't that right, Juror 4? Just what are you implying? As soon as she realized the truth of this book, I wish that she may have already begun fearing this other possibility to be true. Javanese attorney, as a representative of this whole jury, I request an answer. What do you believe is the other object that flew across the street from their flat? What I'm about to say is absolutely crazy. I don't have any decisive evidence to back this up. But I'm about to make a serious indictment. This is a possibility that we must investigate. Understood. The defense is ready to voice its thoughts. The other object that flew out of the Garideb's flat was the knife. Juror 4, Mrs. Garideb. What do you want? I think I should begin by apologizing. I'm really sorry about this. But I need you to tell me something. Look at this knife. Does it strike you as familiar? Oh! Hold on, defense, what are you doing? Isn't that the knife that was used to stab the victim? At the time of the incident, the Garidebs were in a heated argument. Mrs. Garideb had cornered her husband in the window, throwing whatever she could find. The window was open, and the book she threw was the one discovered at the crime scene. Ridiculous! The book was found in the victim's hand! Did the book just grow legs and walk into her hand? Ha! Not even the missus can make a book do that. I can't claim to know everything, but that's exactly why. It would be a fatal mistake to end this trial now. Ah! Oh! Answer me, Mrs. Garideb. Do you or do you not remember this knife? And she fainted. One juror is fainted. Milord! I would like to amend my verdict. I made a promise after all. Juror 2. And I will as well. This is an unexpected turn of events. I agree that it would be a mistake to end the trial at this point. Foreman. Don't forget about me. Don't really think this old lady really did it, but count me in too. I wouldn't feel satisfied with the verdict right now. Good show! All at once then. Yes! Just as I suspected. We've done it! That was brilliant work, Naruhodo. The jury's verdict has been changed as a result of the defense's closing argument. Now 2 vote guilty and 4 vote not guilty. Thus, the court acknowledges the jury's vote is split. And orders you all to continue the trial. Back to you, Mr. Van Zieks. Back to you. Ball is in your court now. Lord Van Zieks, do you have anything to say about this development? It reminds me of a strikingly tasteless farce. A farce that's tasteless as this wine floating in my glass as I imbibe it with a sigh. What is a jury? A miserable little pile of fickleness! Yes, that's it. Okay, good. That was amazing. Simply tossing into hellfire that which I cannot bear to swallow. Excuse me, Lord Van Zieks? With all due respect, the defense has presented a viable possibility. You call that a possibility, foreman? We call it nothing more than the lowest of vulgar nonsense, but fine. Seems that we'll have to review the relative location of the crime scene. Relative location? What's he doing this time? Think of the crime scene and the defendant's flat. It should be obvious, but between them is one large street made of 4 coaches, Briar Road. The distance between the crime scene and the landlord's couple's home is no less than 15 yards. So that's between 13 and 14 meters. It's about 14 meters, yep. 14 meters? That's way further than I expected. I'm sure you all have the same doubts as I. That book was discovered in the collapsed victim's hand. This book was engulfed in flames, thrown by an enraged housewife. Flew 15 yards and fell perfectly into the victim's hand while she was toppled over on the ground? Do you plan to tell me that this is your conclusive argument? Oh, come on, this is obvious, Van Zieks, come on! The book was thrown. The woman who was stabbed picked it up. Shoo! The knife flew into her back and bam, she collapsed. And that's how the book stayed in her hand. Come on, Van Zieks, even I can see this. Unless the game plot twists me again. Hold on, I need a drink. Okay, let's go. Well, not only that, but as if chasing after the book, a knife also flew across the road and slipped straight into the victim's back. Perhaps next you'll say that a pig flew after it. Even those ridiculous detective novels could tell better stories than your delusion. Ah! Don't have a rebuttal for that. Rebuttal or rebuttal, it's the same as well. Even a prosecutor shouldn't be allowed to say things like that. Sato, what do you call detective novels ridiculous? I won't stand for this. That's the part you had a problem with? My lord, excuse me, but I can't hold my tongue no longer. What is it, legal assistant? It may seem like a wild dream to that prosecutor, but a new possibility revealed by the defense changed the verdict nonetheless. Therefore, this court has no choice but to consider that possibility. And the only way to do that is to cross-examine Juror 4, Joan Gaideb. What? You want to cross-examine a juror? Yeah, after all, she was indicted. Order! 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 Why, this is absolutely unprecedented! You have a juror indicted and brought to the witness stand. Time to throw the bottle. Would be a complete waste of time. Lord Van Zeeks? We were already in the middle of witness cross-examination, and if the nonsense from before was anything to go by, she was throwing burning books at night from above. Maybe we should ask the current witnesses about that instead. What do you think, witnesses? Huh? Patrick O'Malley, patrolman, ready to report. Oh, he woke up. You would see him that he's finally awake. Oh, finally awake. Oh my god, he's awake. Now he's going to tell stuff. There we go. I'm so sorry for sleeping through the trial. I've been chasing so many scoundrels around the city. It's been about a month of no sleep. London constables truly are heroic, aren't they? Well, I know you've been fighting this all alone, but you don't have to worry anymore. Oh, Pat! I think I'm falling in love! Very well, the defense's request is denied. Oh. Instead, the court orders the current witnesses to testify further. Testify regarding the new possibility as presented by the defense. And now with an awake Pat, he's going to say some stuff for sure. Sir! Patrolman Pat's report. As a constable of London's police force, I can say that Mrs. Garrideb is unrelated to the case. This is because her window is actually an awning window. Besides, if something was flying through the air, Pat wouldn't have missed it. We were very close to the crime scene, but Pat was watching over it like a hawk. I didn't blink or look away for even a second. Nothing out of the ordinary, sir. Well then. You didn't blink, huh? Incredible! They were awning windows? Constable, you didn't report this to me. Oh well, I'm sorry, you see, I was so tired. Tired or not, that makes for no excuse, Constable. Understood, sir! Sorry to interrupt. What do you mean by awning exactly? The same goes for you. The same goes for you. Sorry or not, that makes no excuse, Japanese boy. Sorry. Naruhodo, I just looked it up. Do you remember the windows at the Garrideb home? The Garrideb's windows. Like any other windows, you can open them to let in fresh air. But an awning window opens like this. That's right. This window's most defining characteristic is that it can only open at an angle due to being attached to a stay. Only at an angle? Seriously? Yes, that's correct. In other words, if you hurl a knife or a book at the open window, it would just smack against the half-opened glass and fall straight to the ground. No way! It must have been hard to understand coming from a country that knows nothing of windows. From the start, it was impossible for either item to fly 15 yards. At least not without shattering the window entirely. What? Look, Pat, that crazy chap was all like, what? Yeah, I totally vanquished the villain, Rolla. You're amazing, Pat. insane! A new possibility was thrown out in the window before I could even cross-examine them. Now, defense, it's time to begin your cross-examination. Yes, sir. Driven into a corner yet again. I'm sorry, but I need some glucose. Hold on. What makes you so confident in this claim? I'm glad you asked. The reason is this. Inside the police handbook, we have great things to know as a policeman. He showed that to us earlier, didn't he? Yeah, however, it's called things known by a constable. Did he? I don't really remember. Constable will tirelessly for the citizenry. That is everything I strive to accomplish. And that's why I stand tall and strong for my poor wife. Yes, I retire no more. But my sweet, you're so manly! Of course, I do it all for you, Aurora. Aurora, my love. But my sweet. Oh my god. Okay, so someone might get type B diabetes after seeing this. That's not what I was asking about. I want to know the basis behind your claim that Mrs. Garrett is related to the crime. Oh, that? You should have said that sooner! Alright, tell me about that then. Finally. Hold on, please. Now I present to you my unshakable claim to prove to you just how unrelated she is. I reveal the truth to you so much that I'll run out of words to reveal it. But before I do, I have one thing to say. What now? Instead of favor I want to ask of you, Mr. Japanese attorney. When you go home, I want you to tell your friends tales of the London's officer's spirit. Sorry, but I only just arrived in London, so... Please, I'll let you borrow this if you promise to read it from cover to cover. The child will move you to tears. Alright, I'll take it. Thank you. Hold on. I will not present anything, I want this. Things to know as a constable. Keep the peace within the area designed as your beat. Patrol 20 miles every day so that London citizenry may know peace. London police rules and regulations. If an incident occurs in a constable's beat, he must lead the investigation. When he discovers an incident, the constable must assist in the initial investigation. Those two rules are very important. Back, press. Mata! Then that means that the window couldn't have opened all the way, right? Exactly! a window for letting in some air. It won't open very far. As such, if an item were to fly out of the window, it would hit the window pane and fall to the ground below, if you check the map. Around here is where any given object would fall. It's on the opposite side of the crime scene, I see. I wish I knew about these awning windows earlier. Oh, by the way, I have a question for you, Pat. What is it, sir? How did you even know about the window? What would lead you to know that Mr. Garidev's window was an awning window? Oh, that's easy. Yesterday I assisted with the investigation. Oh, hold on. Hello?
Shut up!
Excuse me, Rolla? Yes? But you look so happy right now. I was just thinking, the two of us really are lucky, you know. What? It's a shame that the lady got stabbed, but the crime happened just outside of Pat's beat. Is that so? Yeah, you could say Briar Road is the border between beats. Isn't that right, Pat? Oh, he fell asleep again. Pat? Yeah, right. Actually, the reason I have to investigate the Garidev residence yesterday is because that area is part of my beat. Wow, it's really that happened right on the border. But I'd like to confirm something with you. Which beat does the footpath just in front of Mr. Garidev's home belong to? Oh, the Garidev home. That would be my beat, ma'am. It's the first I've heard of this. If the lady had been stabbed on the other side of Briar Road that night, there's no way we would have made it to our anniversary, you know. Pat has to do his job after all. Commendable work ethic indeed. That's just what we expect from our constabulary. Pat always works hard, so hard. Must have been God watching over him at this one time. You think so, Pat? Yeah, I think you're right. Should probably keep track of all of this information. I'll take care of that. The location where the victim collapsed was just outside the border of Constable O'Malley's beat. Alright, now I'll do the talking. One moment. I'm sorry, there is a phone call. I'll be right back. Sorry about that phone call. Well, I always take care of my family. This is why I cannot stream in peace. I'm sorry. So she died outside of his beat. The book says okay, let's keep anyway. But the sun had already gone down, right? It should have been dark at the time. You're walking around looking for a happy star. What? A star that would guide us, the two of us, to happiness. If flaming book happened to fly overhead, it probably would have looked something like a shooting star. Let me tell you, if I saw a shooting star, I would have wished 3 times over that Pat would become the chief of police. Due to all fog and smoke, we couldn't see any stars at all. In short, not a single knife or book flew overhead before the crime. I watched, sir! I swear it on the starless London sky. It really doesn't seem like he's lying. Just after we witnessed the crime, the two of us rushed to the city. Isn't very close to me. You ran to a police box for help, right? Yes, that's right. I know where all of the police boxes in Pat's beat are, but somehow well that she doesn't know where they are in any other beat. Pat told me where to go, but I got a little bit lost. Rolla, my love, you're so cute when you're lost without a clue. Rolla, my love. Pat, my sweet. Okay, enough! Enough, both of you! Enough! Thank you, Naruto. Thank you. Just shut up already. Anyway, thanks to that, it took about 15 minutes before I came back. But Pat was watching over the scene the whole time. I was off duty, but I still did the job, for I am a patrolman. Let's press this. There was nothing out of the ordinary at all. Right, sir. I was keeping an eye on the crime scene the whole time. No person, animal, or thing got anywhere close to it. Swear it's the truth, or my name is Patrolman Patrick O'Malley. That's a bit strange, don't you think? What's strange? I'm perfectly normal. The adventure of the Lion's Mane was supposed to be in Mr. Gaideb's home. How did this burnt book end up in the victim's grasp? You were watching like a hawk, then you must have noticed something, right? Maybe it just happened to be a different burnt book. You still have to wonder why the victim would be holding it. Was carrying a bag on her shoulder after all. Either way, when I found her, she was already holding the book. I see. Something strange about this testimony. Somehow the knife ended up in her bag and the book ended up in her hand. I feel like these two mysteries must be connected by some thread. Mr. Attorney, how about I ask you a question? Sure, what is it? You're doubting our testimony again, aren't you? Huh? Oh no, I wasn't really. Ugh. Here we go again. It's a job of an attorney to doubt people. Come on, girl, Rolla. Let me just tell you one thing. Don't underestimate me just cause I'm a girl. I'm the wife of a police officer, so my testimony is totally trustworthy. Alright, but you should... Hold on a moment. I need to eat the biscuit. Come on, give me a break. Sorry about that. No, I don't wanna hear any more excuses from you. I guess I'll just have to keep talking if I want to convince you. Do you mind, Milord? Do as you please, at your testimony if you wish. Not that I could ask you to do otherwise. Just was muttering something just now. It's not real and good. And you better get a clue this time, you stupid Japanese guy. Even if I let your rudeness pass, Pat's gonna lock you up. Yes, ma'am. Speak to your heart's content. I wonder what she plans to say now. My eyesight is the best. I'm just not great at directions, that's all. Okay. Let's press this new again. This thing. It's not that I doubt your testimony, it's just stop right there, I saw everything, okay? That mustachioed Japanese guy dropped his books and scampered away like a bad cat. Right. And I definitely didn't see what didn't happen at that. There weren't any burning books or nasty knives flying over Briar Road. Yes, I get it. But didn't you just say that you have a bad sense of direction? Yeah, I do, it's a bit embarrassing. I always get mad when I'm late for our dates. But hello there. Shut up! Pat, may I ask you something? Oh, yes, ask away. Did something about your wife's testimony strike you as odd? Oh, well, yeah. Now that I think about it, it happened that night too. Huh? And Nola got herself lost. Sorry about that. Then Nola got herself lost on the night of the crime. She went to the next beat over to find the police box, but it took her a pretty long time to come back. Thought she would return within 10 minutes. In the end, it took her about 15. Oh, Pat, quit bullying me. It was all that bouquet's fault, not mine. The bouquet? What is this about a bouquet? It was an anniversary present. My darling Pat gave it to me. He was picking up coins during his patrols for weeks and weeks, so he could afford it. That's a very romantic story, I guess. I've totally forgotten about that bouquet until now. I'm sorry, sweetie. It's fine. That bouquet is a matter for the two of us to handle in private. Shouldn't talk about it right now, okay? Huh? Oh, that's disappointing. What in the world was that? Pat was clearly very shaken about something. I cannot say I know why, but I think we should press Rolla about that bouquet. Rolla, about that bouquet. Could you tell us a little more about it? Sure, why not? Van Zix is worried. Or thinking. I ended up getting lost because of the bouquet I dropped. What bouquet? Mata! Dropped the bouquet of flowers at the crime scene. Right! I was really out of it at that point. So someone fell over when we rushed over to help. We found a knife sticking out of her. I was so shocked that I just dropped my bouquet on the spot. It was too far from the light of the gas lamps, so it was hard to spot. That's when you ran over the next beat's police box, right? Right, I came back to the scene with the police officer in tow. I saw where I had dropped the bouquet on the footpath, but when I went to go get it, the corpse was gone. It's already been mentioned many times, but the victim was not yet a corpse. Is not yet a corpse. I was really confused until I heard a heroic voice calling from the other side of the road. Suppose that was Pat. Yep, in my clumsiness, I came back to the wrong side of the street. This time, it was the bouquet's fault. To think that it ended up there. So the bouquet moved to the opposite side of Briar Road, huh? Strange story indeed. And in the end, I forgot to go back and get it. Look how much change Pat had to pick up off the street just to buy me that. When you say bouquet, might it perhaps be this? That's it. It's the bouquet Pat bought me with all the change he picked up off the street. I think it's best if you don't keep telling everyone that part. Where did you find this bouquet? According to an officer's report about the crime scene, it was found at the corner of the footpath in front of John Garidev's residence. It was in front of Mr. Garidev's home? Because it was an area far from the gas lamps, it wasn't found until the next day. The police believed it to be unrelated to the case, as it was on the other side of the road. Thank you so much, Mr. Prosecutor. I'll be taking that back right now. For now, I think it would be better for the court to accept this as evidence. Huh? Oh, but the only evidence in that bouquet is the evidence of our love. You better give it back later. I'll scream if you don't. Yes, ma'am, I won't forget. Okay, let's save here because I'm confused. I really don't know what to press here, or to present. Technically was here. Oh yeah, I didn't press this one. There was nothing out of the ordinary at all. Right, sir. I was keeping an eye on the crime scene the whole time. Oh no. I did press this one. What do you think, Naruto? The thing is, I'm getting a strange feeling from this trial. With its absentee assailant. I feel like we've already seen the solution in some way. Those books should never have appeared at the crime scene. At first, I thought the one keeping secrets about it was Mrs. Garida. Now, let's say there's someone else who is revealing everything they know about it. The final weapon must be already within my grasp. Now I need to present it and drag out the tooth. What do I present here? Oh my god. What do I present and where? I really don't know. Hold on. Hold on! What's this? You sure it's some fancy wrapping paper? These are all just old newspapers, Naruto. Seems like anything wrapped with the stuff from Britain look fancy. Yes, I suppose you're right. What's the matter? Oh, it's nothing. I was just wondering. Have you ever had roasted sweet potato? That British newspaper could even make Japanese drinks look like British pastries. Sometimes society really does show her girly side. There's nothing out of the ordinary about this bouquet. Wow, British rose! You're beautiful. Wait! Hello! It's winter, not spring! I realized! It's winter, not spring! Hello! It's spring in real life, but it's winter in this game. Oh, British rose is more beautiful than I had ever imagined. Oh, so this is a rose. I've never seen one before. I'm not interested in flowers? It's not that I'm uninterested, but I only really know 3 different kinds. You only know 3? And what would those be? Peach blossoms, plum blossoms, and cherry blossoms. Your taste seem to be a little too biased. No, biased is one S, whether it is British English or American English. Biased is one S. That is a mistake. Come on, they should have pointed out the contradiction here. Okay, let's pass this. God damn it, Okay. Not where to present. Forgot what to present, god damn it. And where? Didn't she drop that bouquet again in front of the house? So she dropped the bouquet in here. How? Ah, this is insane. I don't know. Okay, I'm randoming this. I have no idea. I really have no idea. No. Okay. This is not it. I'm randoming this, by the way. I really have no idea. Maybe I should press again. Maybe I'll press again first before. Oh, wait. Nothing out of the ordinary. How did the bouquet move then? There we go! Oh my god, I figured it out finally! How did the bouquet move if there was nothing out of the ordinary? It moved from the crime scene to the front of Mr. Gary Deb's room. Flat. Finally! Oh, good lord! That took long, I'm sorry. Maybe my focus isn't as good as I thought. When you were watching over the crime scene, there was nothing out of the ordinary. Can't be right. What do you mean? Rolla, you said the following in your testimony. When you returned from calling a constable at the nearby police box, you saw where you dropped the flowers, but the victim's body was nowhere to be seen. In reality, the victim's body had fallen on the opposite side of Briar Road. Such a tiny bouquet, and really not even a bouquet at that. Imagine it was simply blown across the road by the wind. Tiny? Let's say you're correct. So why didn't Pat testify as such? Nobody approached the scene and nothing was removed from the scene. That's what Patrolman Pat said, proudly and without hesitation. The bouquet was mine, it had nothing to do with the stabbing. That's the only reason he didn't say anything about it. It's not just the bouquet anymore, it's this mystery. There has been a very peculiar reversal among the evidence. Reversal? That's right. It was Rolla's bouquet and Mr. Gary Deb's book. Originally, when the adventure of the lion's mane was thrown from the Gary Deb's window, It should have smacked against the awning window and fallen on the west side of the road. But in reality, it was discovered in the victim's grasp on the opposite side of Briar Road. And on the other hand, Rola's bouquet, originally it must have fallen on the eastern side of Briar Road. But in reality, it's found on the opposite side of the road near the Gary Deb home. This is an absolutely impossible outcome. That is, unless someone picked them up and switched them. There we go. What in the world? What is wrong with you? It's like you're trying to make Pat out to be the bad guy. Oh, you're awake. Hello, welcome back to the land of the living. She's right, we can't listen to that demon attorney anymore. The bouquet, who cares? It's all trivial details. Looks like Mr. Gaidev's wife has come back to life. Well, thank you, Captain Obvious, I said that. No matter how trivial you think it all is, messing with the state of a crime scene is a crime in itself. It's called tampering with evidence. And the person who tampered with the evidence, if the person who tampered the evidence won't come out and tell us why, it must be because they are trying to hide the reason that they did it. Tampering. I see you're excited to have learned a new word. And just who do you think bothered to play this pointless little trick? On the night of the incident, someone tampered with the evidence. All of the evidence and testimony points to only one person. Now the court demands an answer, attorney. Who is the one person that could have possibly tampered with the evidence on Briar Road? This is a difficult choice. Let's save here. It's either Rola or John. One of them. Let's present Rola and first. No, that can't be it. Yeah, it's John, come on. Shaking your head without saying anything. Oh, sorry, I was just pondering the question for a few seconds. Those precious few seconds wasted deserve the most severe penalty. It wasn't necessarily severe. I think you're on the right track, Naruto. There's only one person who could have possibly tampered with the crime scene. I'm positive that you're correct. Yeah, you're right. Don't overthink it, Naruto. Let's try again. Let's try Joan this time. No! Oh! It's Pat. Oh, come on. This is easy. It's Pat. Yeah, I will not load. I will. Yeah, it's my mistake. Come on, it's Pat. That person would have to be Patrick O'Malley. There is not a single other person who could have done it. What? A constable of London's police force? London's police force? Don't be ridiculous! How could you accuse him of that? Pat is a defender of justice. He's a policeman who serves and protects the people of London. Roll up. Pat asked you to go to the police box. You left the crime scene. A span of 15 minutes was the only chance for anyone to tamper with the evidence. No way, you're just spouting nonsense. I mean... That's right, it was the guy with the mustache. He did it. He ran away. If that was true, then Pat would have witnessed it. Oh. I'm sorry to say this, but there is more evidence to the contrary. It was only after the defendant ran away that you dropped your bouquet. But... First you indict the landlord couple, and now you're brazenly accusing a constable of London. Your accusation is missing one essential element. Motive, yeah. Motive. Or motive. You claim that you tampered with this crime scene, but you see. Only someone who was hoping to hide something would commit such a crime. Yeah, why did he do it? Yeah, that's right. We just happened to witness the crime. Why would we have anything to hide? For what purpose would he have to tamper with the evidence? As long as you can't provide an explanation, your accusation amounts to nothing. Well, this is easy. He wanted the crime to be in his jurisdiction. In his, what's the word they use? Beat. Yeah, in his beat. That's easy. Pat must have had some reason to tamper with the evidence. That reason must be the key to solving this mystery. Naruto, do you think that you figured it out? An indictment towards the London constable. You'd best hope you're on to something here. If you're wrong, this could be a lethal blow to your reputation as an attorney. Keep that in mind as you formulate an answer. Understood? This is easy, come on. When he tampered with the evidence, what Roman Pat was trying to hide. Oh crap, this again? Save. When the book dropped, when the bouquet dropped, the victim was stabbed. The victim stabbing is clear in the pictures. It's either these two, hold on. Unless it's not the most obvious stab in the world. I think it's where the bouquet dropped. Here. Think of where the bouquet really fell. Pat desperately needed to hide the truth where it fell. Why in the world would you think so? Huh? Well, of course, my reason for thinking that... Uh-oh. That's wrong. You know, if I had to guess, it would seem that you're the only one trying to hide his own reasoning. In either case, there was never a reason to begin with. Ah! Okay. Stupid Francis can see right through me. I mean, if it's neither the bouquet... Okay, if it's neither the bouquet nor the book, it's where the victim was stabbed. Really. There we go. Think of where the victim was stabbed. Pat desperately needed to hide the truth of where she was really stabbed. What? Huh? What do you mean by where she was really stabbed? It doesn't make any sense. We've already known that since this trial started. She was stabbed on the footpath by Briar... On the footpath by Briar Road. Pat and I saw it. Ah, where? Oh. Oh. You know, Joe, I thought where as in the location on the victim, not on the map. Oh my. Okay, I'm very tired, yeah. I will finish this with any brain cells I could muster. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. I will finish this with any brain cells I could muster. See, right here, everyone agrees with me too. Sure, everyone may have believed that at first. But the truth of the matter is, Viridian Green was not stabbed at this location. No, not yet, Joe. Huh? What? My word, what kinds of twists and turns will this trial take next? Japanese boy, you have further explaining to do. Explain your assertion. Where was the true scene of the stabbing? Here. That's... You say the crime actually occurred on the opposite side of the crime scene? What are you implying? On that night, when the book was thrown from Mr. Gaideb's room, it fell straight on the to the ground. The bouquet of flowers that Rolla dropped didn't move at all. What really moved was the scene of the crime. What in blazes? It looks like you haven't been listening to the testimony so far. Two fine citizens witnessed the very moment of the crime. He's right, we totally saw it. It was 5 o'clock in the evening. The sun had already set and London's famous fog rolled in. When you two witnessed the crime, you actually ran straight toward the western footpath along Briar Road. No way, that can't be right. Pat entrusted you with the task of finding a constable, keeping you away from the scene. And in the 15 minutes between then and your return, he moved the crime scene. The victim's body and the false book, as shown in this crime scene photo, were both moved to the eastern footpath of Briar Road. Unbelievable! But Pat overlooked one minor detail. Overlooked what? You'll be referring to this bouquet. Yes, that's correct. Maybe the prosecution said something about the bouquet. Because the bouquet was far from any lamps, it wasn't discovered until the next morning. You overlooked it because it was too dark to see then. Thus, only this bouquet remained. It was the only remnant of the crime scene left on the west side of Briar Road. Those are the defense's thoughts on the matter. Did I hit the mark, Patrick O'Malley? Oh, he's becoming serious. Oh, sorry, really, so sorry. Here I am, sleeping at a vital moment. But you see, I haven't slept in a full month. But Pat! He's lying, isn't he? That attorney can't be right. But you've always fought so hard for justice. I was dreaming... I had an awful nightmare. I dreamed that everything I did in that evening would be found out in court. But I guess... it wasn't just a dream, after all. What in blazes? He did it. He admits he did it. Wow, he admitted it. Order! 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 What in blazes? What in the world is going on here? This is just... Pat, why? Why would you do something like that? Isn't tampering with dead bodies a crime? She still doesn't know what the victim's not... that the victim is not dead, I guess. Constable, why on earth did you do that? You're supposed to be an upright policeman working for the sake of the citizenry. Why? I can't tell you why. What do you mean you can't? I'm really sorry, this is all my fault. I've sullied Scotland Yard's good name. One possibility does come to mind. On that night, there might have been a good reason. Hold on, I need to save because I have only one chance and I need to save. That Pat had to move the crime scene. Impossible! How could you know why? A damn chap like you knows nothing of the inside of a good London constable's mind. Say what you may, but our attorney is the one who brought the truth to light. Court believes that there is worth in asking for his thoughts. Defense. Sir! Now the court requests that you present evidence. Understood. Whether they be British or Japanese, all people share the same feelings. And I think I'm beginning to understand Pat's feelings from that night. What evidence reveals the motive of Patrolman O'Malley's deceit? This is easy. Present the case materials here. How would you feel if this evidence revealed his motive? Oh, crap. That's wrong. Hold on. Sorry, I need to go back to the title. Well, that failed. That's not the correct answer. Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah, fighting with one point is a bad idea. This one. Maybe you're right. To you Londoners, I'm just an outsider. And because of that, it wasn't until today that I learned about the London Constabulary. It's one of the most noble yet demanding duties in the world. They patrol the city to maintain order, all the while doing odd jobs to support our citizenry. Yes, those young constables are driven by the many duties they must undertake daily. But for Pat, that fateful night was a special time. Special? And it's this bouquet which makes that fact very clear. Oh, that was for our first anniversary. But did all he could to prepare a gift for such a special day. And the two of them went out for dinner to celebrate their anniversary, but then they came upon the crime scene on Briar Road. They witnessed a young woman fallen under the gas lamps in the thin fog. What do you think was going through Pat's head at this moment? I just wanted that one single day to be peaceful so we could celebrate our anniversary. We're always leaving her alone because work is so busy. My poor beloved Rolla. Yep, he did it for love. Wow. He actually didn't do it for the money. He did it for love. This is the police handbook that was presented. There's a manual inside called Things to Know as a Constable. It reads, if Constable discovers an incident in his beat, he must assist in the initial investigation. Ah! This is why it isn't. Isn't it, Pat? This is why you moved the crime scene. Well, you've seen right through me. So that's the problem. The investigation was in his beat. Oh, that's right. At first, Pat was supposed to lead the investigation as the beat's constable. I see. Then, Patrolman O'Malley, did you... O'Malley. At the time, for the first time after I got my dream job as a constable, I started to pray. Rolla, stay close to me. The criminal might still be on the scene. When I ran to the crime scene, I was acting not as a husband, but as a policeman. I had to hurry up and notify the police. And then I realized the significance of where the victim collapsed. If Constable discovers an incident in his beat, he must assist in the initial investigation. Why did this have to happen here, today of all days? Why, tonight was one day I needed peace. Wow. There has to be a policeman guarding the crime scene all the times. So I told Rolla to go to the police box and bring the officers over. And then, when I opened my mouth to speak, I shouted words that even I'm disgusted by. This road is part of the next beat over, Rolla. Go to that beat's police box. Take a ride on Mershon's Road. There we go. Yeah, he did it just so that he could take a day off. Wow, all for love. That's saddening, actually. Very sad. But work is work. I'm sorry. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Pat. I just wanted to enjoy a nice dinner with Rolla. No matter the cost. Oh, Pat. That was the only day, one day I needed peace. If the incident had occurred in your beat, you wouldn't have been able to celebrate. Thus, you choose to move the crime scene to the beat on the eastern side of Briar Road. To be honest, at the time, I thought the victim was dead. Really? Of course he did, because I know that my pad wouldn't leave a stabbed victim. It's not conjugated. Whoa. Yeah, I agree, Joe. Go ahead. That's a stabbed victim. Stabbed victim on the cold hard ground. Yes, I suppose you're right. But either way, God is punishing me for my actions now. I can't believe it. Out of everything at the crime scene, the one thing I forgot was the bouquet I bought for her. No, Pat, that was my fault. I was the one who dropped the bouquet out of sight. I'm sorry, Pat. I have one more question, Pat. How many books did you move to the opposite side of the road? I think it was 4. As you recall, Sosuke dropped 3 books, so the remaining 1 book was dropped from Mr. Gaidev's room. That would account for all 4 books. But why did you leave this book in the victim's hand? Those 3 books were scattered around the crime scene. Huh? Well, that's just how I found it. Explain what you mean by that. When we ran over the crime scene, the victim was holding onto this book. So when I moved her, I just left her the same as I found her, holding the book. Just to confirm, the victim was holding The Adventure of Lion's Mane? Yes, I'm absolutely certain. I wonder what this means. At the time, I thought this would be an open and shut case. That there were only 2 people at the crime scene. Even Rolla saw that. No matter how much I thought about it, it must have been that guy that ran away. With that, even if I changed the location of the crime scene, it was only a trivial matter. Wow, this really is it for me, huh? My lord. What is it, Lord Van Zieks? This cross-examination is over. Constable, you may step down now. Sir! Mr. Prosecutor? What's going to happen to my pet? You're free to go home for today. Expect contact from the yards. Please forgive him for what he's done. It's not Pat's fault. I'm always complaining to him because he's never at home. It's okay, Rolla. Let's go home. Okay. Patrolman O'Malley. Sir? I hope this incident has helped you realize that when it comes to a crime investigation, there is no such thing as a trifling matter. Yes, sir. You do well to bear that truth in mind for a long time to come. After all, you don't want to repeat the same mistake at any other crime scene. Repeat? Then hurry and step down. You're delaying the trial. Sir! Astonishing truth has been made clear in our court today. The crime scene was tampered by a third party. However, one truth remains unchanged. The only person who could have committed the crime is still Sosuke Natsume. Don't you think the word only is a little misleading? Now that the location of the crime scene has changed, there should be one more person who could have possibly stabbed the victim. If I may, perhaps you've already realized as well, Prosecutor Van Zieks? Lord Van Zieks, is this true? Very well. Present his or her name then, if there happens to be any merit in your indictment. The prosecution will consent to continue with these proceedings. Who is the other person that could have committed this crime? Of course, let's present the obvious person. I need to save as well. Easy. The defense is ready to call this witness once again. Once again? Just as my legal assistant proposed earlier, there is only one witness that can bring the truth to light. We need to hear Juror 4's testimony. Come to the stand, John Gary Depp. What? As I recall, your request was already overruled. But we have new information now. The situation is entirely different. Mrs. Gary Depp, may I have a moment? What do you want? When the crime was committed, you and your husband were fighting. During your fight, a fire broke out in your home. Mr. Gary Depp opened the window facing Royal Road so that the smoke could escape. And what of it? You threw this book at your husband, who you had cornered in the window, at the window. The book then hit the awning window and fell straight to the ground. And as we have just established, the place it fell was exactly where the crime really took place. And again, what of it? You said that you were blinded by rage during the fight, yes? You didn't just throw books, you threw anything you could get your hands on. I want you to confirm this for me one more time. This knife is the one found in the victim's back. Are you absolutely sure that you don't recognize it? Yes, I'm sure. Huh? How am I supposed to remember what I threw at him? And anyway, didn't our prosecutor say that jurors shouldn't have to testify? Well... I remember saying nothing of the sort, Juror 4. Wow, he's objecting to her! Oh, Van Zieks is helping us! Thank you, Van Zieks. Come here. Come here. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do not misunderstand. You are not above the law. If you remember this knife, then you would do well to tell us the truth. You can get a knife like that just about anywhere. We have so many of those at home. If one or two went missing, We wouldn't even notice. What? For real? My word! Furthermore, I thought that I might have hurt someone. I just can't handle the idea, it's too much. Joan. Alright, go ahead. Hurry up and show me your decisive evidence. I want you to show me conclusively whether that knife was really one of the things I threw. Can you do it, Naruto? If I had that kind of evidence, I'd have thrown it at her ages ago. In that case, it's time for you to come to the witness stand, Juror 4. What? The prosecution agrees that this juror must be cross-examined. Prosecutor Van Zieks. We testify. Juror 4, you have witnessed the entirety of today's case from your seat on the jury. You have seen the miraculous moment where, from our witnesses' testimony, a truth was gleaned that even the witnesses themselves were not aware of. Oh. Thus, it is paramount that you testify to the best of your ability. Once you do, I'm sure that this court will be able to find the truth. Prosecution, defense, are you in agreement? You are correct. Huh? The defense agrees. For once he agrees with us. What is this feeling? For the very first time since we arrived in this country. I finally feel like a real attorney, fighting in the courtroom. Not to be continued, eh? Let's finish this. Okay, witness, your name and occupation. Yes, sir, my name is, Joan Garrideb, yes. My occupation, at the moment I suppose I'm a juror. It looks like she's even confused about she's a housewife or a maid. Henceforth, the court expects your testimony. Is that acceptable? Yes, my lord. On the evening of the crime, something transpired at the Garrideb's home. You should tell us the entire truth. Do not try to withhold even a single detail. What's the matter, Joan? There is nothing to be scared of now? Oh, he came! Dear, you were here all alone? I was with her at the time of the crime. Thus, I'm ready to testify alongside you, Joan. Dear, what about your leg? Oh, please, I'm fine. I can't let you suffer up here all alone, can I? Dear. I presume you must be Mr. John Garrideb then. Sir, 4th Northumberland Fusiliers Battalion, Captain of the 3rd Platoon. I survived countless battles. Now that I am retired, I live a quiet life here in London. Since you were subjected to your wife's concentrated barrage in your very own home. Well, I suppose you could see it that way. This is why this is called an adventure. The adventure of the clouded Kokoro, okay? The adventure of the clouded heart. Two couples that wanted to enjoy a good evening. It turned out to be the worst evening of their lives for both. I see. Juror standing as a witness. This is the first time since the founding of our British courts. It's an absolutely unprecedented situation. However, as today's final witnesses, you two are ordered to give your testimony. Testify regarding what happened in your home as the crime took place. Sir, loud and clear, my lord. This is the final testimony, the war of the Gary Deb home. Yeah, the music. I forget the reason, but my wife and I started fighting. Our candle stand fell over, lighting the carpet on the fire. Put out the fire and ran to open a window. Meanwhile, I took aim and threw everything I could at this poor man. There are plenty of knives in our room, so we wouldn't notice if one went missing. If the weapon was one of our knives, I want you to prove it with evidence. It appears that your home really was the scene of a bloody battle. On the contrary, it appears to have been more of a one-sided assault. I am forced to admit that my platoon was at a perilous disadvantage. If our armistice had been delayed by even a minute, we'd have been engulfed in flames. But really, this old man was pressed to say it's the brief moments like those that draw the line between life and death on the battlefield. Never heard of a married couple's argument described like that. However, with just this testimony, it will be difficult to produce evidence of this weapon. They say that in battle, a man finds himself lost in the fog of war. He loses sight of all else. Perhaps there is little point in demanding any further testimony from these two. I'm getting the same feeling. That's what you believe, and the two of us will have to reach the final truth with this cross-examination. Yeah, you're right. Now defense, begin your cross-examination. Okay, this is the final one. Good lord, man. Let's save here, because this is the final one. I forgot the reason, I know it. I believe you told us the reason yesterday. Yes, if I recall correctly, it all started with a letter wedged inside the book. That's it. It apparently contained a passionate message addressed to Mr. Garida. A secret of his was discovered by his wife. As a result, he became victim of many repeated stabs to the face. Terrifying for sure. A hell of his own making. He was trying to act like I forgot. But you just had to tell everyone. And some of what you said wasn't even right. Is that so? I think the reason for their fight goes deeper than we will ever know. So what happened after this violent barrage of stabbing? The fire also spread into the furniture, right? It mostly caught onto my things for whatever reason. That includes my bookshelf and chair. Conveniently, we had water for bathing at the time, so we used it to extinguish the blaze. It sounds like a difficult situation. Our house is on the 3rd floor, and the city water lines still haven't been connected there. During the afternoon, we have to go to the water trough. Ugh, I hate this word. Trough to get water. We always tell our tenants that they can't use water during the evening. Apparently that mustachioed Japanese man was buying water for himself. You mean the defendant Sosuke? He says he gets some kind of exchange student allowance from his homeland. It must be nice to be able to enjoy black tea in the evening. Not sure nice is the word I would use to describe the situation. the impression that he used his whole allowance on books. In any case, I threw water all over the burning room. You did this even while your carpet and furniture were on fire? To be honest, at the time I was more concerned with throwing and killing. So you know, the philosophy behind the Sacerdotes is totally different. So she can read my mind. Wow! How different? That's the question. Try to remember something for me. Try to remember something for me. Was a knife among the things you threw? I honestly don't remember. But I'm not that much of a monster. Bread, cabbage, garlic, towels, sponges, napkins. Hold on. Excuse me, Mr. Garideb. Mr. Garideb! Huh? Oh, what do you want? Is there something that caught your attention about your wife's testimony just now? Well, if you must know, my memory does differ from hers just a tad. Mainly through hard, heavy objects, books, fire irons, bricks, and so on. What? Only that she had impeccable aim. Ah! John, we're a courtroom! Oh goodness me, I'm so sorry, dear. Still doing this? Yeah. If it was a drinking game, someone would die. Literally. But you see, there's no possible way I could throw heavy things like that. Well, if you take a look at this, you will get the idea. What happened to your pipe? At the time I was holding my pipe like so. When I was subjected to that horrifying barrage, it flew out of my hand. I accidentally stepped on it while I was trying to pick it up, and it split right in two. The pipe just broke in half? A small object hit my pipe, knocking it out of my hand. I patched it up with some tape as a quick fix. Honestly, dear, you really like to make such a fuss about how to delete things in life. I wonder if Mr. Garideb's testimony just now was important at all. It is, yeah. The defense believes that there is profound meaning to that in that last statement. There's only one bit of knowledge to glean from the retired soldier's statement. Find your furious wife will only result in a broken heart and a broken pipe. That's all there is to it. You will find no other meaning, profound or otherwise. Indeed. Any husband will already know this fact. Not too sure about that. Will you at least allow us to take a look at that broken pipe? Of course, I don't mind. Here you go again. You're always going out of your way to please younger women. Very well, the court shall accept this as evidence. I hope you didn't mind my sudden intrusion. Oh, I definitely don't. Give me that pipe. The way this tape looks like bandages, I can't help but feel bad for the poor pipe. Didn't you notice that Mr. Garideb's pipe and robe are the same color? The atmosphere is ominous. I wonder if he is trying to hint at something here. He still uses it, even after it broke in half. It must be something very important to him, filled with memories. Maybe he just can't afford a new one. Inside the pipe, I think. Ah, there it is! The knife shard. Hello? Huh? I think I just saw something reflecting light inside of the pipe. Yes, I saw it too. This looks to be something stuck inside inside the bowl of the pipe. Turn it upside down and shake it. Oh, what's this? It's a metal fragment! If I have to guess, it probably broke off some kind of plate. A plate, huh? Is this what I think it is? Give me that. This is the fragment that we found inside Mr. Gaidev's pipe. It's like the tip of some kind of blade. No, if it's the tip of a blade. You thought of something. There's something about this that I just can't get my mind off. You think you might be onto something. Might be best to look at it while the other evidence you have in mind. Come here, come here. Open the knife, open me that knife. Oh, Naruto, take a look at the tip of this knife. It appears to have been chipped slightly. The tip has been chipped. I think I might have an idea of where it could have gone. It's probably this. Oh my, that's the fragment we found inside Mr. Gaidev's pipe. This is what I think it is. Ah! They fit together perfectly! I knew it, so that's where they escaped from. Now I can prove that the knife is theirs. It seemed a shame for your claim to result in nothing but a denial. Oh no, I really appreciate it. You should take a look at this evidence since you went out of your way to get it for me. Now witnesses, you may continue your testimony. Tell us more about those knives in your room. There are plenty of knives in our room, so you wouldn't notice if one went missing. Let's put that. How could you not notice? Really, I mean it. Carving pipes and making fishing gear are my main hobbies. I also make wooden decorations and dabble in leatherwork. So even if you lost a knife, we'd have plenty more of the same kind. Yeah, we always buy knives in bulk when in the 20-in-1 sale comes around at the market. But we even eat our food with a knife in each hand. I think I must be exaggerating a bit. Ah! So agitated that their testimony is starting to make no sense. Maybe they're in denial. They really don't want to believe that it was their own knife that hurt the victim. I understand how they might feel, but... Very well, witnesses. Continue your testimony. Yes, sir. The weapon on... I press this, then I present there. So you won't admit it until I give you evidence that. He knows. He totally knows. If Sosuke didn't do it, then there is only one other way the victim could have been stabbed. I hope you haven't forgotten already, Japanese boy. The claim that the defendant didn't stab her has yet to be proven. That's true, but only had some way to instantly tell who touched the murder weapon. Technology is as miraculous as sure would come in handy right about now. Hey, Emma Sky! Give me some of that powder, please. Thank you very much. I need it for my past ancestor of 200 years of old. Thank you very much. I didn't phrase that correctly. Okay. I believe you're referring to fingerprints. What? Are you telling me that someone already figured it out? If someone touches something, a unique fingerprint is left behind. But I don't see one. A number of countries already accept fingerprints as evidence. Chief Justice Voltex is currently working for adapting fingerprints into our legal system. Yeah, there we go. Within the next decade, we can expect a new age of scientific advancement in our land. Until then, we won't be able to use fingerprints to prove our claim. Wow, so fingerprints came 10 years after this game. Let's see, this game happens in the late 19th century. So late 19th, that is 1860, 1870, which means that fingerprints came about 1880, 1890. Maybe. I'm just estimating here. I'm afraid we'll have to find some other way. Aww. If only we waited a few more years to come to Britain. I agree. I mean, they have the greatest inventors. After all, they are one of the main pioneers of the Industrial Revolution. Is that all I have to work with? What do you make of it, Naruto? It kind of feels like I've heard all of this already, and I'm not sure if I'd be able to put any new information out. But you must prove where exactly the murder weapon came from. Who knows if I get another chance like this? You're right. Okay, let's present that. I think the two of them may suspect it somewhere deep inside. They know that she may have been the one who hurt the victim. If only I had a way to prove it, then this case would be as good as solved. Indeed, it would. This is all for Sosuke. I have to find it. Where is the final piece of decisive evidence? I found it already. However, I need to say, as usual, I already have your proof, my good sir. Hold on. There we go. Mr. Garidab, could I get you to take a look at this? I can't really see it. Huh? Back in the platoon they called me Hawkeye John, but that was long time ago. Nowadays, even when I'm reading my favorite book by the fireplace, I tend to do things like mistake the letters B, D, P and Q. I would. Maybe you should try putting yourself in the witness shoes, attorney. That does make it sound like you have some eye problems. Just what is this? Some sort of tiny metallic shard? It might just be the tip of a broken blade. It may be tiny, but it's absolutely an important piece of evidence. How very intriguing. Where did you happen to pick this up? It was stuck inside Mr. Garidab's pipe. My pipe? When the world did that get in there? Well, what's the point of presenting this tiny little shard? You can't possibly be saying that it's related to the case at hand, can you? Indeed I am. What? If we consider the shard alongside another piece of evidence, I think the truth about the stabbing will become clear once and for all. So boxes for short witnesses exist back then. Okay. I can see that our attorney is becoming very confident in his answers. Now then, defense, I order you to present your evidence. What evidence combined with this tiny shard will reveal the truth of this case? Present the knife. This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look at it carefully, you'll see that the tip of the blade is chipped just slightly. There are entire hordes of thieves roaming around the London city centre with shoddy knives. A knife as cheap as this one would break as soon as it struck bone. If that's true, then the tip of this knife would likely still be stuck inside the victim's body, yes. However, that is not the case. The broken tip of this knife. Was this metal shard all along? It was in Mr. Garidev's pipe. Ah! What's the matter, Lord Van Zieks? This is absolutely absurd! It's like he got a heart attack. Wow. The knife with the broken tip and the shard, they fit together perfectly. What in places? Order! 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 Is this some sort of Japanese black magic? It's no black magic, I'm afraid. On the contrary, one might call it a miracle. A miracle? It looks like even Prosecutor Van Zieks has realized the truth. Attorney, explain the meaning of this immediately. Yes, sir. The gist of what I'm trying to say is probably the exact same time the shot got lodged in his pipe, I guess. It was made clear during the Garidev's testimony. At the time I was holding my pipe like so. When I was subjected to that horrifying barrage, it flew out of my hand. Some hard object hit my pipe, knocking it out of my hand. Uh-oh. This can't be! The fight between the Garidev couple happened at the exact same time as the crime. In her rage, Mrs. Garidev threw a knife at her husband. Then, when the knife collided with Mrs. Garidev's pipe and sent it flying, the knife's tip broke off. Huh? And then that broke off, and the shard that broke off the knife lodged itself inside of the flying pipe. How? It's like... it really is some sort of miracle. That's the only conceivable way that the shard could have ended up inside the pipe. And the knife, now without its tip, flew through the open window. Thus, this broken weapon descended from the Garidev's home and stabbed the victim in the back. Let's see your breakdown, guys. No way! No way! No breakdown. Hold on. Oh, Van Zieks has something to say. Oh! Oh, hello. No heart attack? What a decadent demonstration. You've piled up countless niggling details and proudly presented the resulting heap of dust. That's a very Japanese trick, isn't it? What is your problem now? Unfortunately for you, your demonstration is nothing more than pretense. Or pretense. Pretense or pretense is fine. If you're wondering why, it's because there exists a fatal contradiction in your own assertions. Huh? What? Lord Van Zieks, explain yourself! What contradiction have you found in his assertion? It's honestly very simple. The victim was stabbed in the back by this knife. The back? Ah! Whoa! Yeah, that's right. He's absolutely right. What's the matter, darling? You're suddenly so jumpy. Try to remember the details of the case again. The victim was walking along Briar Road. As the victim was walking along Briar Road, she was stabbed and collapsed on the spot. If a knife had descended from above within those circumstances, then it would be inconceivable for the knife to land in her back. Wow! Come on, she bended to pick up the book. This is simple. Order! Order! Yeah, of course, that's totally it. If a falling knife had stabbed her, then it would have been stuck in the very tip top of her head, of course. But... Oh, that attorney really climbed up. That's it. I knew something was fishy about this. So what's the truth then? Indeed, the defense has overlooked something vital. Can't call it a logical conclusion if it has even a single contradiction. Attorney, your demonstration doesn't have a leg to stand on. It was so close to the truth. There shouldn't have been anything wrong with the path I was on. Now the way is closed off by a single contradiction. In other words, if you can resolve that contradiction, the path will be cleared once more. Susato! Listen up, Naruhodo. You've just been taken by surprise and you've turned just a little bit pale. But if you're on the right path, then I believe there has to be an answer somewhere. Somewhere in the information recorded in the court record. Looks like our Japanese boy has finally run out of rebuttals, or rebutals. There is only one thing that your silence whispers to us. It says that you've accepted your own assertions as false. The contradiction isn't because I'm wrong. It's just another challenge to make my case even more well-honed. You're not wrong. There's no way that a falling knife could stab an upright person in the back. That is, in a normal situation. What? What are you talking about, defense? Such a piece of evidence tells the story. It tells us how a falling knife could end up in the victim's back. Huh? What are you saying? What kind of nonsense trick is this? It seems this is the last time I'll have to say this today. Defense, I order you to present your evidence. This is the final contradiction. If I can clear this up, then one final undeniable truth will remain. Here's the evidence that proves how the falling knife fell into the victim's back. Oh, this is easy, come on. Let's save, just in case I say this is easy and fail. It's the book, come on. The fourth book, discovered on the scene of the crime, explains it all. This is it. This is the final piece of evidence that the defense will present. Yeah, cornered is playing. This burned book? This burned book? That book was from the Garinab's home, correct? If you take a look at this photo of the crime scene, it tells you exactly where the book was present at the scene. The victim was holding Mr. Garinab's book in her hand. However, if you recall, the constable testified that he placed the book in her hand. It would be referring to when he moved the crime scene to the opposite footpath, yes? Not that! But Roman O'Malley gave us a vital piece of testimony alongside that. But why did you leave this book in the victim's hand? Ah, well, that's just how I found it. When we ran over to the crime scene, the victim was holding on to this book. So when I moved her, I just left her the same as I found her, holding the book. In other words, the victim picked up that book by her own volition. So obviously she picked it up before she was stabbed by the knife. So it does make sense. One moment, please. Sorry about that. When you've got the knife in your bag, that's definitely not the time to be reading. So why in the first place did the victim pick up this book? Oh, I think I know. I think I can imagine a reason why. Huh? We know that this book fell from the landlord's flat on the 3rd floor to the ground. Furthermore, it was almost exactly the same time that the incident occurred. Exactly, they were at the same time. The victim was walking through the foggy London night on the pavement of Briar Road. As she walked on, suddenly a book fell right in front of her. The book that I threw! Mrs. Garridev, put yourself in her shoes for a moment. Imagine you were walking along and suddenly a book fell before you. Well, I can't exactly imagine that happening, but I suppose I'd probably reach out my hand and I'd pick the poor book up, of course. That's our answer, she picked it up. Ah! A book fell from the sky in front of her, and of course she reached out to pick it up. What do you think she might have looked like in this situation? Her back was pointed to the sky, completely defenseless, as she bent over. And in the next instant, when she picked it up, ouch, that hurts. The knife, following the book, descended directly into her back. But that's not all. Not far behind Viridian was another person walking on Briar Road. That would be the defendant, Sosuke Natsume. Oh! What Sosuke witnessed at the moment was the victim suddenly collapsing to the ground. In that wispy fog, he failed to see the knife falling from the sky. Oh! In that case, the constable and his wife wouldn't have witnessed anyone else on the scene. And it's all because there was no criminal to flee the scene. This case is just a tragic accident. It's a result of a chain of coincidences on coincidences. That's the very truth of the stabbing of Viridian Green. There we go. Does that sound right, Gary Debs? When you first revealed that knife, I started to realize maybe that's what really happened. Darling! Joan! I know, whether it was on purpose or not doesn't really matter. What I've done is still a crime, right? I confess to it all. That night, as I was blinded by rage, I threw that book at my husband. And then I threw the knife too. Dear? You don't have to say it, I know. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I'm so sorry. And she fainted. Gone. Whoa! Nice! Catch! Dude! Yeah, you can't. You just can't. I'm sorry. Lord Van Zix, how is Mrs. Garridev doing? She was taken to a bed in emergency care. I'm told that the situation is hectic at the moment. But there shouldn't be any problems. Things will calm down soon. Unfortunately, they wrote this strategy with their own hands. They will need to resolve to stand and face it together. The resolve. I'm not sure if one might call this a dark cloud silver lining, but According to a report from the hospital, the victim is on the road of recovery. Seems to be just a matter of time before she regains her senses. Still don't know a thing about her, huh? Still, it's great that she survived this ordeal. Yeah, you're right. And as for you, defendant Sosuke Natsume? Yes, sir! On behalf of the Ministry of Justice, I wish to issue an apology to you. You journeyed to Great Britain from so far in order to study in peace. Yet we have only caused you immeasurable suffering. We are deeply sorry for this. I cannot accept, for the one who must apologize is me. Sosuke. That night a poor young lady had fallen before my eyes. But in my hysterical horror at what lay before me, I made a terrible mistake. What mistake? I thought that fine lady had died. Well, Patrolman Pat thought so as well. She did seem pretty dead, I guess. It has been a year since my arrival. I was still yet to acclimatize to life in the Imperial capital. My days were dismal, it was as if the spirits of the fog in London damp and dreary had come. Dreary. Sosuke does seem like a really sensitive guy. What a poignant image. Poignant? Because it's a French word in origins! Poignant! Come on! And it was the same then. I thought she was bewitched by the very same malevolent spirits. I know that dropping my books and fleeing at the scene wasn't what I should have done. I should have done nothing other than call a doctor, notify the police of what happened. As an exchange student, I dealt a terrible blow to the trust between our great empires. Thus I must offer my deepest apologies. As far as I can see, the essence of this case seems to be an apparition of an interwoven chain of misfortunes. Manipulated by this apparition, we were ready to rush to a mistaken verdict. Lord Van Zix, and you, attorney who voyaged from Japan to the British Empire, you two are responsible for breaking that chain. This was absolutely a model trial. Thank you, my lord. Now, say citizens of the jury. Yes, my lord. The court has decided that now is the time for this trial to end. We request your final verdict. Speaking of the foreman, I only wish to arrive at a dignified verdict. The truth is often cruel, isn't it? I didn't think this would end with us losing a juror. I stand here now as my wife's messenger. It's about time, now I can finally get to work, right? This will be a nice story for my grandchildren. Now, jurors, the time has come. Present your final verdicts to the court. And slam. The grand slam ever. Best grand slam ever. Let's do this. I will now deliver the verdict to the defendant, Sosuke Natsume. Not guilty. Confettis and fireworks. GG, well played. One more thing, defendant. Yes, my lord? You're now a free man once again. I hope you will endeavor to bridge the gap between our two cultures. And be sure that you never find yourself in this courtroom again. Yes, of course! I so solemnly do solemnly swear. I am so moved! With this, today's trial comes to a close. Thank you so much. 20th of February, 3:17 p.m. Old Bailey, defendant lobby. The trial lasted 5 hours and 17 minutes. Excluding, of course, not excluding anything. 5 hours and 17 minutes. Oh, substitute! Huh? You mean me? Of course I do! Are there any other substitutes here? I don't really know. We've come a long way from substitute law student Naruto, haven't we? I would have preferred if you arrived at just Naruto instead. Oh, my name is finally absolved of all doubt! Heart full of glee! Laugh loud and free! Seems finally happy. I can tell since he said laugh. It would be a lot easier to tell if he actually laughed though. Oh, substitute, you've really done it! You've savaged my life from the rubble. I said they were Power Ranger poses. As well. It wasn't me. You're free because you didn't hurt anyone. It's great that everyone else has come to see that too. No, you see, you've got the wrong idea. Dear substitute. Yes. I said this before, but I never could come to love London. On the roads, I look around and see only foreigners in the sky, only brick skyscrapers. The Brits look down on me from above. They point and laugh. Look at that dwarf. I think you're just imagining that. However, today you have pulled me out of my tiny hole of depression. You stood on the grand stage against those Brits and you didn't dare retreat. In equal battle, you fought with your words to unveil the truth unknown. When I saw those great fireworks launched in the crown court, my heart cried of joy. Mankind is great! I was grateful to hear you say that. My old friends in Japan will be delighted to hear about this misadventure when I go home. Huh? Go home? Who's that? Oh hey, I've been looking for you there. Sorry to keep you waiting, I happened to oversleep just a bit. Hello, Holmes. Hi, if it isn't Mr. Holmes. Wow, that was close. Looks like I made it just in time. Looks like court's about to be in session. I know you've got this, man. Are you freaking kidding me? He did... Did you know who did this? No. Let me tell you a little story, Joe. I'm interrupting the game. Let me tell you a little story, Joe. Okay? Do you know a series of videos called Turnabout Storm? First of all. So, this series of video is about a crossover between the original Ace Attorney and My Little Pony. Friendship is Magic. Because I'm a brony, I watched that. Okay. In this series of video, there is an running joke that one of the ponies, Pinkie Pie, is always late for the trial. And they did it before this game even comes out. This is the second thing that Turnabout Storm did before an Ace Attorney game. The second thing. What was the first? I think it was the extra case in the 5th game of Ace Attorney. That's why yeah, that's why I was in disbelief. I mean, a series of videos about an imaginary case did predict 2 things at least. Actually, the trial just ended. What? How? He was in such a rush for nothing then. Ah, it's you, you damned monster! Eee, Sherlock Holmes. I'm sorry, have we met? This is Sosuke, you do remember arresting him, right? Oh, that's right, I didn't recognize him. He's always hiding out in his little basement of a flat, just in those dank little jail cells. What's he doing in a brightly lit room like this? I had no idea who he was. Be a little less rude. Curse you thee, Sherlock Holmes! It's all your fault that this happened to me. I've got a whole mountain of things I need to say to you. No, wait. Sorry, I got it now. It must be the man that ran off from that crime scene. You abandoned that poor victim. If you'd taken her to a hospital instead, by now she probably would have been awake again. Oh well, I figured it was inevitable for her to end up this way anyway. But all the same, you know, something like that is just too much of a fright. He changed his entire deduction again. Wow. I'm honestly very sorry for what I did. Good. By the way, you said there was a mountain of things you needed to say? No, I suppose not. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're just too funny to me to handle. Poor Sosuke. Come on, look at the bright side. What a pleasant experience, right? And all for free. And from what I can see, you've been declared not guilty. Still not safe. Whatever do you mean? I knew it all along. I'm cursed by these damnable spirits. And cursed by the Grim Reaper himself. Oh, Prosecutor Barov Manziks. I'll never forget what he heard when that prosecutor is in the court. Even if you're not guilty, you're doomed to a terrible demise. No, Sosuke, you'll be fine. Huh? Even if some sort of unruly bringer of death appears before us, Susato will not fail to keep you safe from harm. Ah! And she flipped me. He takes a taste of my special move, the Susato toss. Could at least warn me before you do that, Susato. So Sosuke, what are you going to do now? You mentioned going home a while ago. Before long, I plan to go home to the Japanese Empire. Huh? It's been a whole year since I first arrived in the British Empire. Going to university, living on my professors' teachings, visiting the libraries and bookshops. I want to know this wonderful world of literature, along with the city it was born from. And I realize that my mission is to teach our empire about this culture. So put simply, wasn't cold feet at the thought of the Grim Reaper's curse, is that right? Oh, you see, you've got the wrong idea! The more I learn about literature, the more these strange emotions well up within me. When I return home, I wish to write something with my own 2 hands. Really? I'd love to read one of Sosuke's novels someday. Now, Master Naruto and Mr. Sato, what are your plans? Our plans? We're going back to Japan with that mustachioed gentleman. Why would we do that? We haven't even been in London for a week now. Our trip has only just begun. Oh my god, my throat is dry. Hold on. Sorry about that. I suppose you've been staying in a hotel then? Yeah, we're trying to find a cheap place to live before we go bankrupt. According to our calculations, our allowance will vanish entirely in about 10 days. Oh, if you'd like, you're free to take my flat. Your room doesn't have any windows, right? Yes, that's true, but the floor, walls and ceiling are all in perfect order. There is more, you'll never be alone because spirits will be there to curse you! Spirits? Indeed, when you're sound asleep at night, a spirit suddenly wrings your neck. What a refreshing way to start the day. I need some time to think about it first. I've got a proposal for you two. How would you like to stay at my home for a while? Really? You see, our home has a bit of a vacancy. Even if you'd just be taking the attic, you really call that a vacancy? Talked it over with the landlord this morning, and now Ayaz is cleaning up. Get up. You should come as soon as you can. I doubt you have any luggage, right? Oh my, what a lovely proposal! We get to live in the attic of a world-famous detective's home! So many emotions are welling up inside me. I graciously accept! Don't suppose I even have the option to look elsewhere now. Alright, it's decided then. Tonight, Iris will be flexing her cooking muscles for a big welcome dinner. Mr. Sosuke, you're free to come over as well. I do appreciate the offer. Well then, I'll be working on the paperwork for Sosuke's acquittal. Chisato looks so excited. Substitute. I knew I was right to choose you. I'm so glad that I could meet someone like you in this foggy city. I feel the same way, Sosuke. It's just sad that we already have to say goodbye. I've realized that I belong in Japan. Substitute, one day I swear we will meet again. Of course. Not I can call myself a full-fledged attorney by then. Perhaps by then I'll have the air of a competent author. Alright, you two, our coach has arrived. We should get going soon, Master Naruto. Okay, Mr. Holmes. Hopefully Mr. Sosuke will be acquitted in time to make it for dinner. And so, the curtain closed on Sosuke's trial. The three of us boarded a coach and set off for Baker Street. Something is gonna happen. Oh, hello. 20th of February, 4:41 PM, attic. So this is it. It's our new office. Our own office, huh? I like that. It's got a nice ring to it. It does. This is like a dream come true. You see this, Asugi? It's only a small one. I feel like I've come one step closer to fulfilling your dream. What do you think, you two? Do you love it, or do you love it? Hello there! He looks decent enough without the detective clothes. Mr. Holmes, thank you so much for this. charming little room. I'm positively overwhelmed with your lead. That's great. Iris and I are glad you're here, too. Come on, everyone! It's almost time for supper! When Uncle Sasuke gets here, we are having a big party. Oh, Miss Iris. I'd just love to help you prepare. Okay, then Susie, you can make the salad. Alright! So, how does it feel, Master Naruto? Well, you've established your very own office in London. Can't stop trembling from the excitement, along with the thought of what might be waiting for us in this city. That's exactly how I felt when I opened my own office here. That is, until I came to know of the darkness lurking in this foggy city. Huh? London is praised for being the brightest, most prosperous imperial capital of all. However, as the flame of London burns brighter and brighter, the shadow cast by its light grows into an ever greater darkness. Come on, you know who he is talking about, Joe, right? It is said, and I quote, by Arthur Conan Doyle, If Sherlock Holmes is the light of London, then James Moriarty is its shadow, or is darkness. You know who he is talking about here. What's that supposed to mean? Well, I'm sure you'll find out for yourself in due time, just how deep the darkness goes. Now I believe that this bears repeating. Welcome to London, Master Naruto. At that point, there was no way I could have truly understood Mr. Holmes's words. After all, Jack the Ripper was James Moriarty's assassin. I mean, he, according to the stories, Moriarty would write his victim's name to Jack the Ripper on the journal, on the newspapers. He would write it in such a cryptic way that only he could understand. You follow me so far? So that's how Moriarty is the darkness of London, according to Arthur Conan Doyle. No, it would be just a short while longer before I would peer into the abyss with my own eyes. The end. Adventure of the Unspeakable Story, The Hound of Baskerville. Oh my god, this is one of Arthur Conan Doyle's most famous Holmes stories, The Hound of Baskerville. It's a really good one. Also, this is the last episode as well, as much as I've heard. So yeah, I'm going to save here and call the stream off. That's it, I'm done. This is the last episode, I think, as long as I'm told, of course. Thank you so much for watching. That was an exciting case with an exciting turn of events. I will see you on the next stream. Goodbye.